In a crowded Lagos neighborhood where the bustle of street vendors and the hum of motorcycles filled the air, Adanna was known for her elegance. She was the girl everyone admired but also whispered about. Her flawless appearances at every event, draped in luxurious gowns, adorned with sparkling jewelry, and crowned with sleek wigs, were the talk of the town. Yet, no one knew the truth: Adanna was a borrower. Adanna had a knack for convincing her friends to lend her their most prized possessions. Just for one night, she'd beg, her eyes shimmering with false sincerity. Her friends, enchanted by her charm, always gave in, albeit reluctantly. She would strut into parties and gatherings, soaking in compliments that fed her insatiable desire for attention. One fateful afternoon, Adanna visited her wealthy friend, Kemi, to borrow a glittering sequin dress and a rare, imported wig for a high-profile event. Kemi hesitated but eventually agreed. "This dress is very special to me, Adanna," she said. "Please, return it without a scratch." Adanna grinned. "You know me, Kemi. I'll treat it like gold." As Adanna left Kemi's house, she didn't notice the old woman selling herbs across the street watching her intently. The woman muttered under her breath, her sharp eyes tracking Adanna's every step. The evening of the event, Adanna stepped out looking like royalty. Heads turned, and whispers of admiration followed her as she walked through the grand hall. Yet, amidst the glamour, she noticed something strange. The old woman from Kemi's street was standing in the corner of the hall, staring directly at her. Adanna's heart skipped a beat. "How did she get here?" she whispered to herself. She shook off the unease, attributing it to her imagination. However, as the night wore on, the old woman appeared in every corner Adanna turned to. After the party, Adanna hurried home, her pulse racing. As she approached her door, she found the old woman sitting on her doorstep. "Who are you, and why are you following me?" Adanna demanded, her voice trembling. The woman smiled, revealing crooked teeth. "Child, your beauty is borrowed, and your life is a web of lies. Do you think you can keep living like this without consequences?" Adanna scoffed. "What are you talking about? Leave me alone." She brushed past the woman and slammed the door behind her. That night, Adanna struggled to sleep. She tossed and turned, haunted by nightmares of shadows whispering her name. When she woke up, drenched in sweat, she decided to return the borrowed items to Kemi immediately. As she reached for the wig, she froze. It had changed. The once silky, luxurious strands were now coarse and tangled, with a foul odor emanating from them. Horrified, Adanna threw it into a bag and rushed to Kemi's house. "Kemi, I don't know what happened." "The wig, it's ruined," Adanna stammered, handing the bag over. Kemi opened it and screamed. The wig was now writhing with tiny snakes. "Adanna, what is this? What have you done?" Before Adanna could answer, the old woman appeared at the door. "You were warned, child," she said, her voice echoing with an unnatural tone. "The spirits have taken notice of your deceit. Everything you borrow will now carry a curse." Adanna dismissed the old woman's words as madness, but the curse soon revealed itself. The next time she borrowed a pair of shoes for another event, her feet swelled painfully until she could no longer walk. When she borrowed earrings, her ears burned as though they were on fire. Desperate, Adanna sought out the old woman. "Please, undo this. I'll stop borrowing, I promise," she begged. The woman shook her head. "The spirits demand restitution. To break the curse, you must return everything you have borrowed and confess your deceit to those you've wronged." Adanna embarked on a journey of redemption, returning every borrowed item and apologizing to her friends. Each confession was met with anger and disappointment. Her once loyal friends abandoned her, and her reputation crumbled. But the curse didn't lift. Adanna realized she had to confront Kemi, whose wig had unleashed the curse. When she arrived at Kemi's house, she found it abandoned, overrun with weeds. A neighbor revealed that Kemi had vanished shortly after the cursed wig incident. Terrified, Adanna sought the help of a spiritualist, who revealed that Kemi's family had been cursed generations ago. The wig was a vessel of that curse, and Adanna's deceit had awakened its full power. To break the curse, Adanna was forced to perform a dangerous ritual in a secluded forest. The spirits demanded she give up her most cherished possession, her beauty. Adanna sat before the spiritualist, her heart pounding as the flames of the small fire between them danced wildly. The old spiritualist, known as Mama Iridi, looked deep into Adanna's eyes, her voice heavy with authority. The spirits have spoken, child. Your beauty, the very thing you have flaunted through deceit, must be given up to appease them. Adanna's breath hitched. My beauty? How do I give it up? She stammered, tears streaming down her face. Mama Iridi handed her a clay bowl filled with a thick, dark liquid. Drink this, and the spirits will mark you. Your beauty will be taken, but your soul will be cleansed. Adanna hesitated, trembling. The thought of losing her beauty terrified her, but the weight of the curse was unbearable. She took the bowl, closed her eyes, and drank. The liquid burned her throat, and she collapsed to the ground as an unbearable heat coursed through her body. When she awoke hours later, she found her face covered in scars. Her once flawless skin was marred, and her reflection in the mirror brought her to tears. Yet, she felt a strange sense of relief, a heavy weight had been lifted. The curse was broken. Adanna returned home, her scarred face hidden beneath a scarf. The first step in her new life was to confront everyone she had deceived. She visited Amaka first, carrying the remains of the ruined wig. Amaka opened the door and gasped. Adanna. What happened to you? She exclaimed. Adanna fell to her knees, clutching Amaka's hands. I've been cursed because of my lies and selfishness. I'm so sorry, Amaka. I've returned your wig, even though it's ruined. Please forgive me. Amaka, moved by Adanna's humility and remorse, forgave her, though she warned her never to repeat such actions. Adanna repeated this process with every friend she had wronged, returning what she could and begging for forgiveness. Some forgave her, while others turned her away, but Adanna accepted their reactions with grace. Adanna's life changed drastically. Without her beauty and glamorous facade, she faced ridicule from the same people who once admired her. Strangers on the street whispered and laughed, calling her names. Her friends' invitations ceased, and she found herself utterly alone. Determined to rebuild her life, Adanna turned to hard work. She focused on her job as a receptionist, taking night classes to improve her skills. Slowly, she earned respect for her dedication and honesty, though it was a far cry from the adoration she once craved. One day, she decided to use her story as a lesson for others. She began visiting schools and youth centers, sharing her experience and warning young people about the dangers of vanity and deceit. Her scars became a badge of honor, a testament to her transformation. Years later, Adanna received a surprising visit from Mama Iridi. The spiritualist, now frail and leaning on a wooden staff, smiled warmly. The spirits have seen your repentance, Adanna. They are pleased with your honesty and hard work. Adanna bowed her head. I owe everything to their mercy, she said humbly. Mama Iridi placed a hand on Adanna's shoulder. They have one final gift for you. She handed Adanna a small vial of oil. Apply this to your face every day for 7 days. It will not restore your former beauty, but it will remove the scars, symbolizing a fresh start. Adanna followed the instructions, and by the 7th day, her scars were gone. Her face was plain but radiant with an inner beauty that shone through. Adanna looked in the mirror, seeing herself for the first time, not the borrowed glamour, but her true self. From that day on, Adanna lived a life of purpose, helping others find their worth beyond appearances. The spirits had taken her beauty, but in return, they gave her something far greater, wisdom, humility, and the courage to be herself. The tale of Adanna became a legend in her Lagos neighborhood, a story mothers told their daughters about the perils of deceit and the value of integrity. And though Adanna had lost the fleeting admiration of the world, she gained something more enduring, peace.